All right, YouTube, today we're going to be using a steel restricted that's not named Zacian, that's used 99% of the time for a steel restricted, and it's not Dialga. We're going to be using Solgaleo today from Generation 7. This Pokemon is basically what would have happened if Dr. Robotnik came into the Lion Kingdom instead of Sonic's world. I don't know. I've been having Sonic Underground, the theme song, stuck in my head recently. Dark cartoon, but it was a good one. I actually enjoyed it. But that's what we're going to be trying out today with Pelipper and Kingdra Rain. I've been wanting to try it out since I've seen a lot more Kingdra on the ladder recently, and some ideas that I did have, like Choice Specs Thundurus and Choice Scarf Mienshao. We'll see how this team goes, but if you want to try it out, you have 2 weeks to grab it with this rental code right here. There's a paste bin available in the description down below. And of course, you could go check out the team builder, which will be coming out in the next couple of days. So make sure you're subscribed and keep an eye out for that. But as always, if you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. But otherwise, let's get started and play some games. All right, Ho-Oh, interesting. We got Incineroar, Rillaboom, Milotic, Urshifu, Amoonguss, and Ho-Oh. Now, the biggest threat to this team is going to be that Urshifu, probably. Urshifu is a very scary Pokemon to handle right here. So, whatever my opponent's going to lead here, that Urshifu is very, very scary. I do got to respect it quite a bit here. Do I like Solgaleo in this matchup is the question. I actually think I could probably win without it. Realistically, a combination of Thundurus, Mienshao, Kingdra, and Pelipper might actually be able to do it. Now, the question is, do I really want to do that? I think the answer is maybe, because Wicked Blow is very threatening for Net Urshifu, and having Mienshao would be great against it. I don't know if it's Water or Dark Urshifu. I think it'd be Dark Urshifu on this team. I'm not too sure. I feel like the Rain lead is super obvious. I feel like we could probably be seeing the Rain lead into Double Grass potentially or something like that. I don't want to lead the Rain lead. So what do I want to go here? Maybe like Solgaleo Thundurus doesn't seem too bad. I do kind of like the Solgaleo Thundurus lead. I just don't like leading my Rain mode right here. I just don't think it accomplishes much. Having the Rain mode in the back seems better, because if I can weaken the things that are weak to Rain, or the things that do really well against Rain, the entire team collapses to Rain afterward. I need some damage on Milo if they bring it. I do need to handle... I don't need to handle Urshifu. I think Amoonguss is probably the biggest Pokemon I do need to chip. Amoonguss and Rillaboom are definitely the biggest ones here. I don't know what's my opponent going to bring though, but I could pretty much say for certain I don't think it's going to be Incineroar. That's the only Pokemon I would assume you would never bring against my team. Against a Rain team of Mienshao and Solgaleo, I just don't see it. We are going to see Urshifu lead, and it's Water Urshifu, which makes it a lot easier to handle right here. So we are going to see the Rillaboom plus Urshifu lead right here, which is interesting. I'm okay with this. I think you would fake out here into one of my slots, go for Surging Strikes. I don't want to take Surging Strikes with Thundurus, especially a fake out into Surging Strikes right there. I think I'm going to attempt to just go for a Psychic Fangs into Urshifu and go out into my Kingdra right away. I'm not sure who you're going to fake out. You could fake out either one realistically. I would say maybe the Thundurus, because the Thundurus is more likely to, you know, if that Urshifu doesn't have a Sash, like Thundurus would be able to just maybe outspeed and KO the Urshifu. So that's what I'm imagining here. We're going to see fake out though. It is going to be into the Thunder slot. Nice. Do we see a double up though? If a double up, absolutely amazing. If not, not as big of a deal. I think we're going to see Surging Strikes does go out into the Solgaleo. Okay, not terrible, not terrible, definitely not amazing, but not terrible. We are going to be able to get the Psychic Fangs off into the Urshifu for some very big damage, and it is a Focus Sash revealed on the Urshifu. I actually didn't even think it would bring it a Sash, but okay. Okay, let's see, what do I want to go here? This upcoming turn is a little bit questionable. I don't know if Urshifu protects here, because there could be a Pelipper switch and me going for an attack right here. I don't know what exactly they're expecting right here, but I kind of want chip damage. Do I need Kingdra in this game to win? I feel like I don't. I think the combination of Thunder on my Thundurus can be enough to deal with like Ho-Oh and whatever's in the back. I really don't think I need this Pokemon at all, actually. So I am going to draw off an Icy Wind here, actually, and I'm going to go for the Sunsteel Strike into the Rillaboom. Get as much damage into that Rillaboom as possible. Just threatening it, preventing it from being able to fake out later, I think is really nice. Urshifu again might protect. If it goes on the offense, it's not picking up a KO unless you close combat Grassy Glide my Kingdra, which going to be unfortunate, but then I don't think it's too bad. We're actually are going to see the swap from the Urshifu into the Milo. Now that's not great for me, because I don't because I did go for an Icy Wind. So good switch on my opponent's part here. Maybe just a bad Icy Wind here. I didn't want to go for Muddy Water because I'm already risking accuracy. We do get a pretty nice amount of damage into that Rillaboom and land an Icy Wind off on my opponent's Pokemon, which is going to chip the Rillaboom. I actually can't tell that it's a Assault Vest because that did do a lot of damage, but that is a Life Orb Kingdra right here. We are going to see the competitive active from the Milo. I think Specs Thunder should KO it. Now the question is, how fast is that Urshifu? We know it's not Scarf, so I wonder if it's Sash or not. We are going to see a Wood Hammer though in the Kingdra, which is going to pick up a knockout. Does that knock out your Rillaboom though? It doesn't. Okay, that's actually perfect that it doesn't knock out Rillaboom because my opponent doesn't get a safe switch right here. So now what we want to do is maybe hit a Blind Thunder. Oh, I don't really like saying that, but I do think that's going to be the case here. We're going to go into Thundurus right here, and we're going to just click Thunder right away. My opponent doesn't look like has a single switch in for this Thunder. I could also swap out here into Pelipper. My only concern with going Pelipper though is getting the Rain up to power up that Urshifu, which doesn't sound good to me if I'm using Thundurus as a win con. So I am going to go for a Psychic Fangs into the Rillaboom, and I'm just going to click Thunder and go for it. It could be Wakanberry at Milo. We'll find out here, I guess. If we hit Thunder and it's not Wakanberry or Assault Vest, we might just one-shot the Milo. So sometimes you do have to go for these low accuracy moves, especially like Hurricane and Thunder outside of the Rain. It is the risk we do take. Thundurus, can you hit one for the team? You do. Big Thunderland into Milo. No berry, it looks like. And one shots to Milo. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. We're able to knock out Milo. We are able to get a Psychic Fangs off into the Rillaboom and pick up a knockout. So that's 2 Pokemon gone. And then it's the remaining Pokemon coming out, which is probably going to be Ho-Oh and Urshifu, I'd imagine. If it's not going to be Ho-Oh, depends on what's in the back and how I play it. It could be a Moongus, for instance. We'll find out. It is going to be the Ho-Oh though. Okay. So Ho-Oh comes out and Urshifu comes out. Now, really, as long as I don't know if the Urshifu protects or not. There's a lot of different mind games here. I wish I could switch it up and go for the Electroweb. Would be very safe here. But I am going to go for Thunder. I'm not risking a Surging Strikes being able to knock out Solgaleo in the Rain here because it might. I'm just going to go for a Psychic Fangs as well in the Urshifu in case it doesn't protect here and aims for my Thundurus. That definitely is a play. I don't know if they protect or not, but we'll see here. Just going to go for Surging Strikes, which is fine. As if Solgaleo's faster than a Ho-Oh, and I'm pretty sure it will be, I knock out the Urshifu, and I should win with Pelipper combined with Solgaleo, I assume, because Thundurus is going to live the Surging Strikes. I am a bulky Thundurus, and the Urshifu is not boosted right here. And Thunder's just coming in. Oh, I thought we hit I thought we hit the Thunder again. Okay, don't worry, Thundurus. You hit the main Thunder I needed to. Don't worry. You have your Rain up if you survive the upcoming turn. Sacred Fire going to come out into the Solgaleo, looks like. And do we live? No. Okay. So Solgaleo goes down completely fine. I just want to get in my Life Orb. Oh, huh. Usually with Ho-Oh, they're a lot more defensive. This is an interesting take on Ho-Oh. Okay, we bring in the Pelipper. And we get to click Thunder. And we get to click Scald into the Ho-Oh. And we should just win from here. I don't see how they're really going to... I don't even know if they're going to live the Thunder. Because I don't know if they're bulky. We'll find out, I guess. But Thunder and the Scald will definitely pick up a KO. And Recover Stall doesn't really change anything. So here comes a Thunder into the Ho-Oh. And yeah, Specs Thunder is just able to decimate this team right here. I really do like Specs Thundurus on this team, mainly because Kyogre, it's really nice against Kyogre, being able to one-shot Kyogre while avoiding like Electroweb traps from like Regieleki, which I think is really nice. And again, Pokemon like Ho-Oh, Pokemon like Water Shifu, just these bulky water types, Thunder obliterates, and I can have some bulk because I already have the investment into its special attack thanks to the choice specs, so I can invest more in bulk. We're gonna see a Citrus Berry, an Assault Vest, a Leftovers Milo with Coil Protect. No Recover is interesting. Focus Sash, was it Adamant? No, it was Jolly. Okay, so that's a good thing. That is a good thing because my Thundurus does not outspeed this Urshifu. My Thundurus would outspeed an Adamant Urshifu, would not outspeed a Jolly, so that's why I never really want to go into Pelipper and risk the Surging Strikes being able to knock me out. As we saw, it probably would have, and that's why I never want to risk it. And I knew I had to probably take that Thunder risk there, so I think you have to know that risk management reward, and I was able to get it thankfully, and yeah, just ended up working out. And this is a pretty high attack Ho-Oh. All right, but yeah, sometimes we just got to go for those inaccurate moves with Rain. It's just like how it is sometimes, and luckily we just hit this one. All right, we have a Xerneas team. Wow. I feel like I've either played all Xerneas at times when I've experimented with this team, or all Calyx Shadow Riders, which have not been good for me. But overall, I think this matchup's actually pretty good for me. I have Solgaleo, which is absolutely fantastic here. And yeah, I do love it a lot here. I am going to bring... I don't want to go here. Kind of like the idea of Thundurus plus Solgaleo, I think. I think the Electro Web is pretty good in this matchup. And yeah, I do like that option. And then afterward, the thing is I have to avoid the fake out. The fake outs are kind of annoying. If I can play around it, I think it's okay. I'm going to bring in Incineroar because I do want fake out pressure. It's weird. I think, what would I say they would bring in this matchup? I think Xerneas Indeedee is probably going to lead. I think it's really their strongest lead against me. They don't really have much for Solgaleo. In the back, it's questionable. I think it's probably Incineroar. I don't think Politoed or Stack Attack is going to be brought. Because Politoed really doesn't do much unless they're going to go for a Perish game, which I guess they could. I just don't know. I don't think Kingdra's really worth it here. I think having Mienshao is actually better in the back because I have some close combat pressure against Incineroar to maybe stop the rotation with fake outs. I'm going to bring Incineroar for my own fake out rotation. If they do bring like the combination of Rillaboom and stuff, because the thing with Psychic Terrain is if they bring Psychic Terrain, they can't fake out immediately against me unless they bring in Rillaboom. But they're going to go Xerneas Rillaboom. Interesting lead here, which I'm completely okay with. I wish I had Sludge Bomb, but okay. We are going to lead off with my Solgaleo plus my Thundurus right here. I wonder if they protect turn one. I could see protect knockoff here if they really want to. And I'm just not sure. I kind of wish I led Mienshao, but I think this is okay. I'm going to go for Electro Up right off the bat, and I'm going to go for the Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas. I really just want that big damage output, and a potential speed drop is really nice. So Fake Out going to go out in a Solgaleo. So this is Fake Out Geomancy, it looks like. Life Orb Rillaboom. Ooh, okay. Fake Out Life Orb Rillaboom. Geomancy is going to get set up with the Power Herb. All right. Not what I expected at all. So does this Rillaboom have knockoff? I feel like it's definitely Wood Hammer, Grassy Glide. And then last move, I have no idea if it's actually going to be U-turn or not. I do get Electro off. The extra chip in the Xerneas might help to put in Sunsteel Strike range. But of course, it is going to depend highly on the Xerneas set. So Solgaleo does flinch here. It's okay. I have no idea what they're going to do afterward. Because I have no idea if they're going to protect or just go for the Moonblast right away. Or even sub is a potential play here. So I think they want to try to get in like Indeedee right away. So I'm actually going to go for Electro right here. And I think I want to go for Sunsteel Strike immediately into the Rillaboom slot. Because I feel like you don't risk Xerneas here. It's just like I feel like a super unnecessary risk. Let's find out. They did? Are you kidding me? Oh, wait, they Moonblasted my soul. Okay, I do get the speed drop on the Xerneas, so now it is at neutral speed. Do I knock out Rillaboom? I have no idea how fast that Rillaboom is. It could be frail. If Sunsteel Strike can KO the Rillaboom, it's not a terrible position. It's not a great position, but it's not terrible. It's doable. So here comes the Sunsteel Strike into the Rillaboom. Let's pick up a knockout. Okay. What's going to be next? If it's Incineroar coming in, I might just switch into my own Incineroar and just click Electro once again. I have no idea what their set is. I wonder if Thundurus lives to Dazzling Gleam. That's a question. I actually have no idea based on my spread. Indeedee is going to come out though. Okay. So Indeedee coming out makes a lot of sense here. I am going to go for Crunch or Sunsteel Strike. I'm going to Sunsteel Strike to Xerneas for sure here. There's no reason for me not to Sunsteel Strike to Xerneas here. And yeah, just no reason not to. So we Sunsteel Strike to Xerneas here and Electro up once again. If Gleam doesn't knock on my Thundurus, I heavily punish them. And if they protect Indeedee, they get heavily punished. Helping Hand, they get punished. So yeah, if they protect Xerneas and Indeedee does Indeedee things like Expanding Force, I guess. I don't think that's too bad. Yeah, they got heavily punished. This is why sometimes you just have to Even if the follow me is super obvious, don't always target the NDD slot, because if they make a really aggressive read for no reason like that, being extra greedy, this is where it gets heavily punished. And now Sunsteel Strike goes off in Xerneas. Can I pick up the knockout? Oh, big knockout. Big knockout. Heavily punished right there. That is a moment I think you should always like follow me. Moonblast is fine. You could go for Gleam, but that is not a position where you want it to be in. Now I can bring in the Incineroar right here. Yeah, that was just super greedy. Don't ever do that. Okay, we're gonna see Politoed come in. It's not over because there is Perish, and I did lose my best way to handle the Politoed. Although this is a very doable game right here. So we're gonna go for a Sunsteel Strike because we don't know if the NDD has a Cobra Berry. Actually, I should just Crunch anyway, because if it has a Cobra Berry, Incineroar probably gonna get a Dro Chop off anyway. We're gonna go for a Dro Chop and a Crunch. Now, do they go for the double protect? That is something I'm willing to risk right here. So let's find out. Might be Helping Hand, Muddy Water too. They stay in and don't do any of those. No Helping Hand, no Follow Me. Crunch. Defense Shot really doesn't matter in this situation. The Shadow Ball gonna come out. Okay. Why? They're not... This isn't a low ranked game. This is an opponent at thousands. I have no idea why they did that. I have no idea why they did that. Like, the Shadow Ball just literally doesn't make sense. Maybe they misclicked. That's the only way I could see it. But there's no reason otherwise to do that. But okay. Solgaleo just able to take this one home, I guess. There's really not much to say. Psychic Fangs in the terrain. Thank you for the terrain that you gave me. That's a bulky Politoed. That might be max defense. Holy cow. Because that is a pretty powerful Psychic Fangs with the boost. Scald able to knock out my Incineroar, but this is fine. I get Mienshao in, you know. Yeah, that's a really bulky Politoed. I think that's max defense. I'm gonna go Mienshao, and we're gonna go for the coaching and Psychic Fangs finish off this Politoed. Yeah, might as well. But yeah, I think the big turn was the greed on my opponent. My opponent really was anticipating me, I guess, to target the NDD, even though the Follow Me is super obvious right there. But that is the reason why we targeted the Xerneas slot. NDD wasn't really doing too much. Yeah, it could Expanding Force, I guess. I don't really think it was a big factor. It's a scarier factor if they protect the NDD. I don't get any chip on the NDD, and Xerneas gets a free knockout right there. And that would have been worst case scenario for me. So I'd rather always target the Xerneas slot because the NDD slot's not really doing much. You really don't expect to switch out in that position. If they do, I mean, the board doesn't change as much, and they could have got a free switch anyway, so wouldn't make much sense there. But yeah, now we're just gonna kill the Politoed with +2 Psychic Fangs from my Solgaleo. And that is a thing. You do not want to be greedy when you don't have to commit, because that Follow Me ended them. Like, straight up. This would have been a much more complicated game. I still wonder if Gleam actually knocks out my Thundurus, because I think that would be a really interesting note there. Because if I do live Gleam, by the way, Electro Web into NDD plus a Sunsteel Strike would have been really close. I think I would have missed a knockout barely, but the thing is, I would be able to go for Electro Web and Sunsteel Strike afterward, and then the Xerneas is at -1 speed. So my Solgaleos and Thundurus are able to faster, and then I'm able to knock out the NDD the following turn. Sunsteel Strike into the Xerneas, and then yeah, they had Politoed in the back, so they wouldn't be able to fake out reposition. So yeah, just lesson about greed there. Not much else to say. All right, got into top 100 of the ladder with this team. Current rank is 79. I've been facing a lot of high ranked opponents with this team. Let's see if we can continue here. We have a Kyogre team once again with Tornadus, Serena, Landorus, the Incineroar, and the Regieleki. So this is a scary team, and I mean really scary. So I actually have no idea what I really want to do here. I think I want to go Kingdra Solgaleo again. There is the Eleki though that is changing my game plan immensely, but I do think it is worth it here. Now the big questions I have to ask myself is what kind of Kyogre it is, because that is a big question. It is a very valid concern here. I do want to bring Thundurus in the back, and then my last Pokemon I'm assuming is Pelipper here. Incineroar unfortunately doesn't do anything in this matchup, and Mienshao, it Revenge KOs the Scarf Kyogre potentially, but It doesn't really hurt my opponent's team, and I don't think you bring Instant against my team. I have so many Pokemon that just Incineroar does not like. I have Rain. I have a Mienshao. Like, just don't bring Incineroar against this team. If you want to never see an Incineroar again for the rest of your life, use this team. It's like a Incineroar repellent. But we're going to see a Tornadus Eliki lead. Okay, makes sense. That is a scary lead here. Kingdra Soul will take the field. I have no idea what kind of Eliki you are. I'm going to protect because I don't want my Kingdra to take too much damage right away. And I'm going to go for a... Actually, no, I swapped to Thundurus. I have like no reason to here unless they Volt Switch with Eliki, which I guess that's fine. We're going to go for Psychic Fangs into the Eliki slot and just go out into our Thundurus. I think this is going to be attack in the Kingdra. But it could be an attack in the Solgaleo. They don't know if I have Trick Room, so they could Trick Room if they really... Or Taunt to scout for it, but if they have it, let's see. They are going to Volt Switch. Yep, my Kingdra slot. Kingdra is a hard Pokemon for them to actually damage, so it makes sense. And Icy Wind. Okay, good play on their part. Does chip away at my Thundurus quite a bit. And then next turn is actually pretty good for me because they can only... I wonder if they're locked in the Volt Switch. We get Psychic Fangs off in the Eliki. We got big damage. Oh. I actually did not want to crit there. You might be wondering, James, why do you not want to crit there? I don't think Psychic Fang KOs the Eliki. I doubt it. And now they get a free switch to Kyogre, and they're in the commanding offensive position. So that is the reason why you don't want to crit right there. And now the crit might actually hold me back immensely right here. So now I have to switch out Thundurus here. I have to go into Kingdra on Water Spout. I'm taking a lot of damage coming up, and I might be even catching a Hurricane potentially. We're gonna Sunsteel Strike. No, I want a Psychic Fangs here to Kyogre. Oh, that's such a big concern, actually. I'm taking a lot of damage this turn. I wanted to pin right there the upcoming turn with Electro Web, which would have been nice. Scald going to come out. Okay. Oh, they target Kingdra. Oh, thank you. I don't know why they Scald instead of Water Spout. I guess maybe they're fearing Wide Guard. Yeah, Solgaleo does get Wide Guard. A lot of them don't run it, but it is an option. So I avoid a potential very scary fate right there. And now I'm actually back into a commanding spot right here. Somehow. I'm going to go for Icy Wind actually here this time. And I'm going to go for the Sunsteel Strike actually, I think, in the Torn. Hurricane Ice Beam can knock out Kingdra. I think that's fine. The Kyogre is weakened, so Water Spout's not really a big concern. And they don't have Origin Pulse probably. They're going to go for the Hurricane into Kingdra, which is fine. Oh, that's a lot of damage. And Scald into the Soul. Okay. That's a lot of damage. I don't know if that's Mystic Water. No burn, thankfully. And an Icy Wind does connect with both Pokemon. Absolutely beautiful, because now the Kyogre is going to be slower than my Kingdra. Unless it's Scarf, but I feel like the damage is probably the Mystic Water. And actually, no. We saw Hurricane go before Scald, so that confirms it's not Scarf Kyogre. Yep. Almost forgot about that. You got to make sure you remember the speed tiers and remember those small details. Sunsteel Strike is going to come out into the Torn, finish off the Torn, and now what is the last Pokemon is a big question mark right here. So Eliki is gone, so that's nice. Once Tailwind's over, Thundurus can clean up the Kyogre with Thunder. I just got to deal with this last Pokemon, which is the Serena. Okay. So my question is, how valuable are these Pokemon to me right now? And I would say not really that much. This is 2 turns of Tailwind. I could finish off the Kyogre with a Draco Meteor here, and I think that is worth it. I should outspeed Serena. Actually, I don't know. I'm actually not that fast of a Kingdra. I don't have much investment, but I think it's okay to go for the Draco Meteor anyway. We'll find out on the Serena speed tier, which I think is completely fine. And then we'll go for maybe a Psychic Fangs in the Kyogre as well. The Kyogre might protect here, but I'm trying to plan around like stalling out the Tailwind turns. Actually, they're going to forfeit, which I'm kind of surprised about. I guess maybe their Serena's super slow, so they think the Kingdra's going to outspeed and maybe just get a knockout. Maybe it's Specs Kyogre and I'm able to finish it off with Draco Meteor and the Serena's slow. Maybe that's the reason why. But overall, oh my god, that battle was full of swings. It could have been bad. Luckily, they went for a Scald, and it makes sense there in that position, right? Because Wide Guard, you get nothing out of that turn. Or maybe even a more punishing turn of Thundurus getting a KO on you, which is pretty bad. Although, well, I guess I don't know if it's Specs Kyogre. I really can't tell based on the damage. If it's Specs Kyogre, it probably knocks out Thundurus T in that position. If it's not Specs, though, I'd actually, if I was a well, they know I'm not a Assault Vest Thundurus based on that position, I guess, because they saw the Icy Wind damage. They saw that I probably wasn't a Assault Vest Thundurus, so they could probably safely assume that Skull just knocks out the Thundurus in that position. So that's what they ended up doing. So luckily, they ended up making some safe plays. Didn't get the big water spell capitalization, which was scary. Again, the Eliki getting crit turn 1. I don't know if I actually knock out the Eliki. We know it's not Focus Sash, of course, from turn 1, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't expecting to knock out the Eliki. If I got it without the crit, then that's up to that's under my expectation. But I was trying to get an Electro Web position afterward where I either KO the Eliki and get a slowdown on Torn while stalling out Tailwind turns, potentially catching whatever is Volt switching or hard switching if the Eliki is Specs, for instance, or choice locked in some sort of fashion, and getting a big Electro Web off and stalling out again Tailwind turns and getting Kingdra into a fast position. So that's basically what was my goal there, and it just ended up working out. Thankfully. I think I ended up like top 50 on the ladder with this team. I'll check. Definitely some interesting games overall with this team. But yeah, the team ended up doing well. The Giratina team was absolutely fantastic, and some of my other teams have just been crushing it on the ladder recently, and I've been very happy with a lot of the results of my teams. And that is gonna be the end of today's episode. Solgaleo, you know, I was actually kind of surprised because I played quite a few games before, and usually I either had Solgaleo on the back or I just never brought it. And Pelipper Kingdra actually just like won me a lot of my games on like by itself without the restricted. But I'm really glad we got to see some Solgaleo love today. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below, leave a comment down below. It really does help me out. And if you want to try out the team, again, rental code for 2 weeks. There is a pay spin available down below in the description. And if you want to know how I built this team, make sure you keep an eye out for the team builder. Otherwise, you can check out my other social medias down below, such as my other YouTube channels, my Twitch channel where I do live stream, and follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram, TikTok, and all those good stuff. But otherwise, yeah, that's going to be it. Have a great day, people. And until we bow again, I'll catch you all later.